Okay, in case you haven't seen my previous video, I have reading glasses. They're store-bought. They're not prescription, but yeah, I have reading glasses. I only wear them to read and do like iPad stuff, not walking around all day every day. So, serious business now. This is really serious business. My mom has lung cancer that is likely terminal, and it's not a matter of if but when, and we don't know what the timeline is yet. She had her PET scan, and that showed activity in the right lung and a little bit in the left lung, but it's not like all over everywhere. I can read the writing on this thing. I'm like looking at things and I can read them again, and it's just shocking with these reading glasses. Sorry for the tangent, but when she got the bronchoscopy done, the tumor has blocked her right lung, so her left lung is the only lung that's working right now because the right one is completely blocked. And the biopsy was done, but the doctor said that the tumor is very advanced and likely not curable, but it might be able to shrink with radiation so that she can breathe in both lungs and maybe get some strength back and some of her cognition. Because right now she is operating like somebody with high altitude sickness. You know, like when they climb out Mount Everest, they have to wear oxygen past a certain point because the air gets thinner. And she's reacting to the world right now as if she's not getting enough oxygen, because she's not. I mean, she's 80 years old, so she cannot adapt to one lung. Like, if it was me, I'd be able to adapt to it, probably. So, she might get radiation, you know, to shrink the tumor. She may do chemo to shrink it for just for quality of life, because it's probably not curable. I mean, maybe it could be, I don't know, but it depends on her, because the options are fight it, try to cure it, or treat it to be comfortable with the time that she's got. And we through the biopsy we'll find out what kind of lung cancer it is, because there's a couple different types, and I don't think it's small cell carcinoma, because small cell, that tends to be everywhere really quickly, and this is more contained into like just a couple spots. So it's probably non-small cell lung carcinoma. Let's see if I'm right. Of course, I don't think Marcy will tell me the exact name of the cancer, but that's my guess for what it is. That's my autisticness coming out, because like I always have to know the info about stuff. But you know, I was able to unload all this on Laura today, which I really needed to do, because right now my mom doesn't know that it's likely terminal. She just knows there's a tumor in there. And she thought they were going to stent the lung, and so did I, but because it's a solid tumor blocking it, they can't just force it open with a stent. You know, she thinks maybe they could do surgery to take it out, and she'd be game for that. You know, and maybe they can debulk it somehow. I don't know. I don't know if they could go under the bronchoscope and do that. I don't know what they'd be able to do. But as of now, we know that it is lung cancer, and now it's what are we going to do? And my struggle is, you know, I keep trying to future travel to try to figure out, well, is she going to see Valentine's Day? Probably. You know, will she see my dad and Marcy's birthday? Will she see Easter? Those are all in April. You know, maybe. Will she see my 46th birthday? That's in July. I don't know. She probably will not see another Christmas. She is likely going to die sometime this year. And I am still working on accepting that. But I kind of want her to get the full news and the full extent of it, and make her decision on, is she going to fight or is she just going to look for comfort? Because she's 80 years old, so She may just be like, I'm done, just comfort care, get it hospice in here, and let's go. Or she might be like, well, let's try. That, I don't know which one it's going to be, but, when Elizabeth had cancer last year, when she passed away, we didn't know this was the end until about 24 hours before, less than 24 hours before she actually died. So we never got to have a talk about death and what it means to us and what it's going to mean for us. And I want to have that talk. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I want to be able to have that talk with my mom at some point. I want to talk to her about it and hear what she thinks about it and how she feels about it. I know that she's not afraid to die because when my mom was giving birth to my sister, she died on the delivery table. And they had to basically pull my sister out. It was vaginal delivery. They just got forceps and got her out of there and resuscitated my mom. And my mom had a near-death experience. The tunnel of light. And she saw Jesus. And he sent her back. He said, you can't come here right now. Your little girl needs you. My mom did not know the gender of her baby. And she woke up and the first words out of her mouth was, "Is my little girl okay?" She had no way to know she'd had a girl unless she had been told. And no one on earth had told her, but Jesus told her she had a girl. And the death part, the being dead part, she's not afraid of that, but is she afraid of dying? Of all the things that happen when you're dying. Because when she went into cardiac arrest, it was eclampsia. It was just a sudden thing that she blinked and she was flying upward towards that light where Jesus was standing there waiting for her. But with an illness like cancer, it's a process. You don't just blink and you're gone. There's a whole process that happens, and there's pain, there's weakness, there's dealing with bodily grossness. You might throw up, you might poop, and and you may not be able to get out of bed to do that, and someone will have to clean you up, and just the unpleasant sensations of having cancer and dying. I want to talk to her about those things, and until she knows, I can't. But, I am about to live my worst fear, which is losing my mom, and what comes after. And my sister keeps reassuring me that I won't be homeless, and that I will be taken care of, and that my dad will be taken care of, because he's probably going to go into a facility, because there's no way I could take care of him, and it wouldn't change immediately after she died. It might be in the weeks and months after. But in the meantime, I would have to maintain things. But I'd be silly if I didn't admit to being scared. But, I keep telling myself, don't future travel. I'll tell you what I told Laura is I keep telling myself that we're not there yet, we're here. Because if I spend all my time worrying about, months away, I won't be here for my mom now. And now is all we've got right now. Now is all we've got. And I don't want to waste it. I don't want to squander it. I don't want to piss it away being scared about the future when the future ain't here. The future's going to happen. Tomorrow, the next day, the next month, the next several months. That's going to happen. But I can only exist now. I can't time travel. yet. We don't have the tech, so that's why I'm saying yet. Because in 100 years, who knows? So I just try to be more patient with my mom right now. I don't try to fight with her. I try to talk to her about, the stories from her life. And she's showing me how to cook a little bit because right now she physically just can't stand long enough to do it because of, the oxygen problem. She's not getting enough oxygen because she's only on one lung right now. So I'm just trying to not fight with her. And when she gets crabby, I just take a deep breath and try to give a calm response rather than the triggered response that I get. Because when someone yells at me, I get scared because I feel like I'm in trouble and I've done something bad and now they hate me. And that's not true. That's fake news. That's my brain telling me fake news. So, I just got to take it a moment at a time, a heartbeat at a time, a breath at a time. And oh yeah, that is Piccolo on my shirt. Got it for Christmas. So, I needed a comfort shirt and this is it. So, and I've got all of my Godzillas around me. So, and I've got, my Heisei and my Final Wars are over there, but I don't want to pull them out because I'll knock everything over. But minute by minute, now is all I've got. So I'm going to try to stay in the now and not go into the future. Because Marcy keeps reassuring me that whatever you're worried about, I'm already thinking of. So I've got that in my pocket too. So, Marcy will take care of things and I'll just handle what I can handle. So that's where we are. That's where we are. But I'm not going to give in to despair because that's what my trauma wants. And my dad's going to be belligerent about it. I have to accept that and just try to not feed into that by getting mad at him. I just got to keep setting boundaries. That's all. Just setting boundaries. Anyway, that's really all I can do is set boundaries and stay in the here and now. Anyway, love you guys.